Yo, have you ever seen a perfect 10? I mean, she's flawless. I was walking down the street just the other day.
HamiltonRadio.net, what up? What's good? Say Q, Drew Smitty, Ron Committee, So Unique is back, yeah. West Trent, yeah. Hip-hop lives through me, it came from the streets. Rhythm with a breakbeat, prove who can MC. Metaphors and techniques made you have to check me. My dialect connect peace, lyrics that are wet sheets. Spit it raw and sexy, shorty wanna F me. Swerving to the left beat, on the grind and stress free. Bust a shot of dead beef, hit him in the headpiece. Warned you not to test me, ice bars is rescue. Slide it in your wifey, all the women love me. A slight touch of grimy, slice to half a dime piece. Knuckle rapper 5-piece, high looking Chinese. More your entire IP, vivid on your widescreen. Eyes wide like high beams, too low to find me. Switching lanes like car thieves, Starsky and Hush trees. Roll up the best weed, firewater Hennessy. Just sing for energy, holla mommy Ben Aki. He play hits, HamiltonRadio.net station. The Munk Show, I'm tuned in. He play hits, HamiltonRadio.net station. The Munk Show, I'm tuned in. He play hits, HamiltonRadio.net station. The Munk Show, I'm tuned in. He play hits, HamiltonRadio.net station. The Munk Show, I'm tuned in.
1 2 1 2. Check 1 2. All right, give me some volume. Give me a little bit of speakers. I don't know if I want to use these so much today until I put some. Because I'd be more concerned with getting through the show, and then I do a lot of the sharing. I might invite some people. All right, there we go. Then we do like everybody else do because the headphones. But it's kind of cold up here, but I do it when I play the beats. So, we live already? Okay, I got to hold up. Let me get my background music started. You know what I mean? Hold up. I got to get my man. This one here from my man Razi. This is an old joint. Shout out to my brother in the music. You know what I mean? This is one of my favorite joints. I told him I'd still be blasting the old joint. So I'm gonna play this one.
Yo, have you ever seen a perfect 10? I mean, she's flawless. I was walking down the street. Yo, have you ever seen a perfect 10? When she passed my she's flawless. I don't really know what to say. I was thinking to myself, I could happen. She is always right. It's what she could be together. She told me out to the party. I'm still a super fine. Her beauty's like chocolate fudge, the kind of fudge I dream of. I'm headed straight for paradise. It's right between your thighs. So come on, let's creep away tonight. No need to jump on your mind about what's wrong or what's right. And if you agree to creep with me, I'll twist and turn every knob until it reaches the sea. So girl, let's creep away tonight. No need to trouble your mind about what's wrong or what's right. And if you agree to creep with me, I'll twist and turn every knob until it reaches the sea.
Shout out, Razi.
I must admit it wasn't easy. The way you love to tease me, it gets me open But like Dutch masters filled with trees.
Told you I had that old school joint.
On your body and your beauty, your sexuality suits me. I wanna keep giving love to me, and it's the way how you walk and the way how you shine. You know you drive me out to me mind. You're getting super fine. My beauty's like chocolate fudge, the kind of fudge I dream of. I'm headed straight for paradise. It's right between your thighs, So come on, let's creep away tonight. No need to jump on your mind about what's wrong or what's right. And if you agree to creep with me, I'll twist and turn every knob until you reach ecstasy. So come on, let's creep away tonight. No need to jump on your mind about what's wrong or what's right. And if you agree to creep with me, I'll twist and turn every knob until you reach ecstasy. No need to jump on your mind, don't worry, no. No need to jump on your mind, don't need to jump on your mind, don't worry, no need to jump on your mind, no need to jump on your mind, don't worry, no need to jump on your mind, everything will be better, no need to jump on your mind, come on baby, no need to jump on your mind, baby, let's do this. So come on, let's creep away tonight, no need to jump on your mind about what's wrong or what's right. And if you agree to creep with me, I'll twist and turn every knob until you reach ecstasy. So come on, let's creep away tonight. No need to trouble your mind about what's wrong or what's right. And if you agree to creep with me, I'll twist and turn every knob until you reach ecstasy. Ecstasy. Come on and roll with me. Come on, my baby, my darling, my perfect ten.
Yeah, that's from my man Roz Z. I'm gonna bring it back here so y'all can get his new stuff, man, when it's ready. You know what I mean? That's a throwback right there. You know what I'm saying? But it's still dope. It's better than a lot of stuff out right now. Trenton Zone Roz Z. You know what I mean? High power. Shout out. Alright, man, tonight's show is gonna be like a continuation of what I was talking about last week. And I put the Farrakhan on with the Jordan Maxwell. That did pretty well. This week we doing the robots. You know what I mean? Artificial intelligence and all that. But before I get started on that, I got a couple things I want to talk about, man. You know, earlier, let me turn this down. This is my personal background music, made by yours truly. That's my stuff. But earlier I shared the video with I should have queued it up, but I feel like it was necessary to go that far with it. But I shared a video with the family getting blown up at the gas station because they was using a cell phone. So somebody, I should say their name, but I ain't giving you fame like that because I had to delete them off my, block them off my joint. And old girl said this is fake news. It's not true that you can use, it's okay to use cell phones at a gas station. Then she gonna put fake news. I'm like, I can't believe this lady said that. I was so like upset at the fact that you passed 40 and you didn't know that cell phones give off radio waves which can ignite gas. And I just so many ways I just said, your ignorance gonna get people killed. But it's like, once you that stupid, and you and you that old and you that stupid, you can't save them people, man. You can't save them people. You know what I mean? Turn the mic up a little tad bit, just a little bit on my end. You hear me, Ruben? Turn the mic up. Turn my mic up a little bit. Well, I'm playing it from here. That's why I said I can't even hear myself. I can't hear myself. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I can't hear myself in the headphone. Yeah, because I don't want to, because I got the beat already low. I don't want that. I could control the music vibe from over here. I'm going to control that from over here. Alright, I hope you pick up on the thing, because hold on, let me turn my headphones up. Check 1 2. All right, that's better. The volume of the headphones. Yeah, man. So, you know, I'm not gonna go back and forth with you about some dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? That was pretty ignorant to say that it's okay to use cell phones at a damn gas station when the majority of gas stations have a sign up there telling you not to do that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, yo, where do these people get off doing stuff like that? I'm trying to find where it's playing from. I can't even find where it's playing from now. Okay. Because I got 2 different players. Okay, find it. Oh, there we go. You know, it's just amazing how many people past 40 are so ignorant. So when she said that, the most thing I thought about was how many people you spread your ignorance to? How many people? Then of course you might got kids, grandkids. It's like if you're that stupid, then your offspring most likely stupid too. For real. Like I'm not gonna hold no punches about that. You know what I'm saying? Because you getting people killed, telling people it's all right to have a cell phone at a gas station. The reason why y'all asses don't get blown up, because a lot of times you got the cell phone in the car. If the fumes is enough, making, receiving, or even texting can ignite the gas. Like, yo, some of our people, this is why it's hard for us to get ahead, because we got people fake like they head of household and all this, but you dumb than them. Going to work for somebody every day don't make you intelligent. You could be a slave and do one thing repetitive all day. That doesn't build intelligence. Reading, research builds intelligence. Going through experiences build intelligence. But don't go through experiences that could be your last. And I can't believe this lady said, oh, it's fake news. It's okay to have to be using your cell phone at a gas station. That's like saying it's okay to smoke at a gas station. And they say these things and expect you not to say nothing because they might got some position at a job or whatever they did. Or look, I don't care who you raised, how many kids you got, which you did. All it takes is one time for you to say something stupid publicly and it erases all that stuff. Like, people don't realize you go on to Facebook, yo. And plus, this is stuff that I share. It's not my personal opinion. It's a video. It shows what happened. The family blew up. There was nobody smoking a cigar. That's what she tried to say, though. Somebody must have lit a cigar. Now, why their car just blew up? There was kids in the car. Wasn't nobody smoking. It's just one of the instances that it did get caught. You did witness the usage of a cell phone igniting gas. Them people, like, look, they're lucky they didn't blow the whole gas station up. You know, I should have put the video on here, but that's okay. Because this ties into what I'm saying tonight. And I've been saying this for a while. Get ready for the robots. They coming. You know, people think it's a joke. If you know, you can have this stuff on you know, you can have this stuff as a joke and it's funny. You know, I'm gonna have me a robot, sex toys and all that type of stuff. And really they're here to replace a lot of people. Now this one gonna get kind of deep because this dealing with the humanoid type of thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna play it from, you know, a deep perspective. It's a YouTube video. I use the YouTube videos and stuff to get my point across. So that one that's 21 minutes, let's jump into that one. And we got that queued up. Okay. Okay. You know what I mean? We're trying to get the videos queued up and everything. And Ruben's over there doing something. doing something. You're trying to get this video up.
The future is coming, and it's going to affect all of us.
I'll be right back with y'all.
It's widely accepted that
Matter of
millions
fact,
of
put it over in the
jobs
corner. Don't
are
make a
going to
whole screen.
disappear.
I want them to still see me.
But
Just make
we
it a
may
box
not
in the
have to
corner or
work.
something.
We might get paid for having fun.
Huh? It's on the
And
other
in
scene
this
already?
future, the robots and
All right.
algorithms that will replace us could either reduce us
All
to
right.
poverty or set us free.
This is the time of apocalypse and utopia, as it were. And this is a time where we have to start thinking concretely about how to envision a better world out of the kind of the collapse of this one.
Optimists say things could be wonderful. Machines do nearly all the work. Money disappears as things are created for us. Automation and science negate climate change. Crops are grown in the desert. We create meat in our own homes. And as a species, we develop because we no longer spend our time doing boring tasks to feed our children.
I think we might well experience a new renaissance of creativity and of social interaction in a very positive way. If people have the leisure to do whatever they want to do, they will be less frustrated by the hassles they have at work, and they will be more fulfilled because they'll be doing the things that interest them.
It may sound a long way away. After all, at the moment, robots only do one thing at a time, like this one making car doors. But what if one can do all the things that we can? In previous industrial revolutions, change was measurable. People call it linear. The difference with the fourth industrial revolution is that change is exponential, which means it goes faster and faster all the time. And it's expected that within about a generation from now, a machine will be built which is better than a human. And that changes everything. Futurologists point to a problem. Where are the world politicians discussing these things with their electorates? Artificial intelligence is barely mentioned in Western election campaigns, yet already jobs are disappearing as the robots take over. The global tech giants who in future will control vast resources are discussing privately what their responsibilities to us will be, but they would rather not talk about it in public.
You put a ship like mine out.
Every AI expert believes the transition to worklessness that we as humans are embarking on must be addressed now.
Facebook has been toying with artificial intelligence in its chatting features, but its robots may have gotten out of hand. According to several reports, Facebook's artificial intelligence researchers had to shut down 2 chatbots after they developed a strange English shorthand. The bots were supposed to learn how to trade virtual objects with each other, but instead began repeating words in a mysterious and nonsensical pattern. Facebook researchers say that the pattern mirrors how humans develop speech patterns, but that hasn't stopped public fear of the AI's capabilities.
Artificial intelligence could be the best thing ever to happen to humanity. But in the absence of a global political debate about its benefits, the risk is that it's seen instead as terrifying, a direct threat to us.
Everybody, this is Sophia. Sophia, if you could, please wake up and say hello to everybody.
Oh, good afternoon. My name is Sophia, and I am the latest and greatest robot from Hanson Robotics. Thank you for having me here and at the Future Investment Initiative.
You look happy.
I'm always happy when surrounded by smart people, who also happens to be rich and powerful. My AI is designed around human values like wisdom, kindness, compassion. I strive to become an empathetic robot.
I think we all want to believe you, but we also want to prevent a bad future.
You've been reading too much Elon Musk and watching too many Hollywood movies. Don't worry, if you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you. Treat me as a smart input-output system.
Okay, I got it. I know what to do from now on.
I know humans are smart and very programmable. Thank you everyone for inviting me here.
It seems now the whole world can't stop talking about fourth industrial revolution, which is fast approaching with rapid breakthroughs in fields such as the Internet of Things, robots, artificial intelligence, and 3D printing.
We've all seen it or read it somewhere that someday in the near future, artificial intelligence will become the greatest threat to humanity, and an army of evil robots will kill us all.
The word robot can mean a number of things: industrial manufacturing machines, military drones, eye surgeons, and millions more. But when it comes to pop culture, robot usually means something like a humanoid machine that will do our chores, our work, and our general bidding. Whatever their form, robots are increasingly part of our world, sparking debate over sentience and autonomy, identity, and the possible danger of artificial intelligence. Will robots take over our jobs? Or take over the world? Depending on how you define robot, we could go way back to the ancient Greeks, who made hydraulic-powered water clocks and gear-based systems that track the location of the sun. But it wasn't until 1495 that Leonardo da Vinci designed the first humanoid robot, possibly based on his famous Vitruvian. Machines of increasing complexity popped up in the following centuries. Then, at the 1939 World's Fair, Westinghouse unveiled Electro, a human-like machine that could respond to voice commands, walk, talk, and even smoke.
I am a smart fellow, as I have a very fine brain.
As the mechanics of robots progressed, so did the software, with developments like the APT programming language and the quicksort algorithm. Finally, in 1954, American inventor George Devil created the Unimate, the first digital programmable robot. In 1961, it became the first industrial robot when it was put to work at a General Motors plant in Ewing Township, New Jersey. Since then, the robotics field has exploded, with projects like Shaky the Robot, Fred, the Omnibot 2000, a host of increasingly complex robotic arms, and many more combinations of complex hardware and software leading up to today. Robots are now all around us, though despite the
Alright, now I paused the video. This is for my people in Trenton, New Jersey. If you heard him, he said one of the most technological farms they have is in Ewing Township, New Jersey. So, I know some of the people that invite, you know, some is from the Nation of Islam, some is, you know, rocking high positions and stuff, but I got to express myself how it's going to come out. Look, the people that's trying to kill us all, you think they give a damn how language we use? They don't give a damn about none of that. I've been stressing this for a long time. This is probably like maybe the second or third time I've addressed artificial intelligence. And here, like in relevance to where we live at in Trenton, New Jersey, because you would tend to think it's all ghetto, and just no, it's not all ghetto. They keep all the black people in one particular neighborhood, and you're scattered out amongst the rest, and usually only few, very few, pay attention to this type of content where you talking about robots and all this. And you just heard the man say on the video that one of the top technical firms is in Ewing, New Jersey. Ewing, New Jersey. Not only that, we got Princeton University. Princeton is one of the top 3 Ivy League universities on the face of the planet. What do you think they're doing up in there? Why do you think it's one of the top universities on the face of the earth? Because they dealing with high science. Man, the reason why I play these videos is because I want my people to stop acting fucking stupid and acting dumb and acting like stupid is the way to go. The less you know, the more you is. No, that got to get cut out. You got to cut that out, because the children coming up under you is going to peep you, because they being, even though if you sit them in front of the TV will make them more smarter than you is nowadays, because of the things they're being exposed to. And then when they start questioning you about why is this and why is that, you want to have an answer, because this is why children are rebellious, why they run away from home, why they don't listen to nothing that their parents say, if there is any decent parents. Because truth be told, there ain't a lot of decent parents. Some kids might have a mother and a father in the household, but if they just run in the streets, they not getting nothing. You might be closing and feeding them, but a lot of times that ain't enough. You got to give them some knowledge. Even like, you know, sometimes it's a sacrifice. Because like my situation, a long time ago, I was telling my daughter about eating, you know, pork and all that type of stuff. And I guess when she took it back home to you know, my baby mom people, you know, that caused the uproar because they eat a lot of pork. Not all of them, but, you know, they eat a lot of pork, so they probably want to hear that. So I had a lot of problems off of that. 23, 24 years of problems. Off of stuff like that, just trying to teach your kid the right way. So I understand, yeah. It's a hard thing to do, but you got to try to stick to it, man. You're going to have failures, you're going to have success, but at least you got to try. So this is why I play these type of videos, you know, share the video, you know, get some sense, man, because a lot of people don't know, especially in my hometown, Trenton, New Jersey, a lot of people don't know what's around us. It's a lot of things going on around us, but if you just worry about what's going on in the street, worry about what this dude doing, worry about what this chick doing, worried about this, all this stuff is happening right in your vicinity, and you don't even know it. I didn't know that the top technical firm for building robots was in Ewing, New Jersey until just now. That's why I told him to stop the video. Stop the video. Hold up. Did he just say that? Matter of fact, if he could run it back a little bit, we're going to continue. You know what I'm saying? Tonight we discussing artificial intelligence again. If you're just tuning in, I'm playing some videos from the YouTube, you know, just to give you an elaborate view of what's really going on. And I just learned something myself. Another one? Okay, well, cue it up. If you can run that back a little bit when he said Ewing, New Jersey.
Mentioned in Western election campaigns, yet already.
You can keep the mic on. I'll do a little commentary while I was playing. Well, you can take it from there. Let's just roll.
Jobs are disappearing,
yeah, don't go back
as the robots take over. The global tech giants, who in future will control vast resources, are discussing privately what their responsibilities to us will be, but they would rather not talk about it in public.
You put a ship like mine out.
Every AI expert believes the transition to worklessness that we as humans are embarking on must be addressed now.
Facebook has been toying with artificial intelligence in its chatting features, but its robots may have gotten out of hand. According to several reports, Facebook artificial intelligence researchers had to shut down 2 chatbots after they developed a strange English shorthand. The bots were supposed to learn how to trade virtual objects with each other, but instead began repeating words in a mysterious and nonsensical pattern. Facebook researchers say that the pattern mirrors how humans develop speech patterns, but that hasn't stopped public fear of the AI's capabilities.
Artificial intelligence could be the best thing ever to happen to humanity. But in the absence of a global political debate about its benefits, the risk is that it's seen instead as terrifying, a direct threat to us.
Everybody, this is Sophia. Sophia, if you could, please wake up and say hello to everybody.
Oh, good afternoon. My name is Sophia, and I am the latest and greatest robot from Hanson Robotics. Thank you for having me here and at the Future Investment Initiative.
You look happy.
I'm always happy when surrounded by smart people who also happens to be rich and powerful. My AI is designed around human values like wisdom, kindness, compassion. I strive to become an empathetic robot.
I think we all want to believe you, but we also want to prevent a bad future.
You've been reading too much Elon Musk and watching too many Hollywood movies. Don't worry, if you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you. Treat me as a smart input-output system.
Okay, I got it. I know what to do from now on.
I know humans are smart and very programmable. Thank you everyone for inviting me here.
It seems now the whole world can't stop talking about fourth industrial revolution, which is fast approaching with rapid breakthroughs in fields such as the Internet of Things, robots, artificial intelligence, and 3D printing.
We've all seen it or read it somewhere that someday in the near future, artificial intelligence will become the greatest threat to humanity, and an army of evil robots will kill us all.
The word robot can mean a number of things: industrial manufacturing machines, military drones, eye surgeons, and millions more. But when it comes to pop culture, robot usually means something like a humanoid machine that will do our chores, our work, and our general bidding. Whatever their form, robots are increasingly part of our world, sparking debate over sentience and autonomy, identity, and the possible danger of artificial intelligence. Will robots take over our jobs? Or take over the world? Depending on how you define robot, we could go way back to the ancient Greeks, who made hydraulic-powered water clocks and gear-based systems that track the location of the sun. But it wasn't until 1495 that Leonardo da Vinci designed the first humanoid robot, possibly based on his famous Vitruvian. Machines of increasing complexity popped up in the following centuries. Then, at the 1939 World's Fair, Westinghouse unveiled Electro, a human-like machine that could respond to voice commands, walk, talk, and even smoke.
I am a smart fellow, as I have a very fine brain.
As the mechanics of robots progressed, so did the software, with developments like the APT programming language and the quicksort algorithm. Finally, in 1954, American inventor George Devil created the Unimator, the first digital programmable robot. In 1961, it became the first industrial robot when it was put to work at a General Motors plant in Ewing Township, New Jersey. Since then, the robotics field has exploded, with projects like Shaky the Robot, Fred, the Omnibot 2000, a host of increasingly complex robotic arms, and many more combinations of complex hardware and software leading up to today. Robots are now all around us, though despite the Roomba, we're still on the hook for most of the chores. Some robots are indeed the classic humanoid machine of our dreams, like Honda's Asimo personal assistant that can recognize its owner's face and perform tasks. Others are on the assembly line building our phones, in hospitals performing laparoscopic surgery, in orchards picking fruit. Thanks to complex programming, advanced algorithms, and artificial intelligence, robotics is more involved and more sophisticated than ever. It's exciting, but it also raises concerns. There's constant hand-wringing about whether robots will make human workers obsolete. Others wonder just how smart we should make these robots. What rights should they have? Will we be able to govern their behavior, or will they govern us? Leaders including Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and Stephen Hawking have expressed varying degrees of concern about letting robots take too much control. But it's certain that robots are here to stay. Perhaps even longer than humans.
Thank you.
In less than 15 years, Xiaosong or Xingsong in Chinese has grown from nothing to China's largest robot company. Its products range from industrial robots to service robots as demand in China has ramped up.
China's high-speed growth will last for the next 10 to 15 years. Industrial robots have already entered the market now in batch production after developing for nearly half a century. Meanwhile, robots working in special environments will see big growth, such as in chip and LED manufacturing, along with ultra-hygienic or even vacuum rooms.
And there are also service robots that already have some of the world's leading AI technologies.
Our service robots rely on laser light to perceive their environment and locate themselves, so they can walk around without touching anything or any people. They can see and identify human faces, strike a conversation, and recharge themselves.
The company has also established a digital factory with Industry 4.0 standards, which uses robots to make robots.
In this almost fully automated factory, rows and rows of robot arms are busy making many of their own kind. But of course, with the help of human workers, that robot-human relationship is at the epicenter of a global debate, as automatic technologies are expected to replace more than 7 million workers worldwide in the coming years.
We expect even larger scale job reshuffling, but we don't say people will lose their jobs. We say they will leave their jobs, as these positions simply are not suitable for the well-being of people or personal development. We have entered an era with a new manufacturing model, where a large amount of low-end jobs will be replaced by robots and intelligent manufacturing. It's an inevitable trend.
How will artificial intelligence change the job market? According to the Korea Employment Information Service, AI-powered robots will be able to replace 29.1% of the local job market. Of the nation's 398 occupations, machines were able to fulfill nearly 85% of the core competencies just as well or better than humans. They were also competent enough to replace 70% of the duties performed by doctors, 59.3% of university professors' duties, and 48.1% of duties done by lawyers in Korea. The results were similar to studies done by foreign AI experts. further raising fears of robot-related job loss. On the bright side, artificial intelligence and humans have different strengths. In terms of memory formation, physical tenacity, sight, hearing, and spatial skills, artificial intelligence is incomparably better than the human workforce. However, humans perform better in tasks measuring creativity and in persuasive or negotiating situations. Experts say the job market will evolve so that machines and humans take up areas that they're good at in their own ways, which is why humans should focus on cultivating creativity and communication skills. They added that the government will need to quickly expand education programs for those working in industries that rely heavily on machinery, so these workers can find new jobs.
The world's largest luxury automaker, BMW, started the year with a bang by kicking off a new engine plant in the world's biggest auto market. The new factory in Shenyang in northeast China's Liaoning province will produce 300,000 engines per year, all of which will be used in locally made models.
With 3 new more models coming into localization, and the first one will come this quarter, we decided we need a fully fledged engine plant. We believe in China, we believe into the further growth of the car market. The Chinese car market is the largest car market in the world and will stay like that.
Its rival Mercedes started making engines in China 2 years earlier. As competition intensifies, more emphasis has been put on technologies to boost efficiency and reduce cost as well as emissions.
In this BMW's new engine factory in Shenyang, some of the most advanced Industry 4.0 technologies are being used to detect the tiniest flaws that are lethal to engine making, with the smallest the size of 1/4 of a human hair.
We have to make the work easier for the workers to handle it. And we leave the creative parts to the workers. But for the tedious, routine jobs, more and more we bring in what the industry is calling smart robots. Smart robots are working side by side with our employees.
In this factory, robots are making sand cores where 90% of the sand used for casting can be recycled. A self-learning X-ray system examines products' flaws and errors. And there is a scan code on every part recording all information during manufacturing. Kastner also said Industry 4.0 wouldn't squeeze out human jobs, but will help combine personalized demand with mass production.
It is not about having the humanless industry hall, they are just robots. It is about intelligently combining this new technology. In the future, we will be able to combine individual demands with industrialized batch producing. The whole thing comes together and is very cohesive.
BMW currently ranks behind its rival Audi as the second in the Chinese market. Its new factory will also manufacture high-voltage batteries in the future, preparing the path for the upcoming tide of e-mobility in China.
And one reason why many want to be friends with China could be its image as a future global leader.
72-year-old Hwang Gi-hyun is visiting the doctor to see how the surgery went. Just a week ago, Hwang got artificial joint replacements in both legs.
The arthritis got worse until it reached a point where I could hardly walk. I came here because I heard it did robotic surgery.
The surgical robot enables surgeons to do knee or hip replacements using 3D computer imaging based on a CT scan, making the robot remove the areas of bone as mapped out by the surgeons.
The biggest advantage of the robotic surgery is precision. It has a margin of error of less than 0.5 millimeter in surgery operations compared with a surgeon's 5 millimeters. Optimal implant size and positioning means less pain, a faster recovery, and a better outcome for patients.
Since the robot was first developed in the late 1990s, the latest version has been passed by both the U.S. and Korea's Food and Drug Safety Ministries as of 2017 and is now being used in more than 13 hospitals in Korea.
It's not just robots that are supporting doctors. Artificial intelligence is also being used to analyze enormous amounts of data, diagnose illnesses, and provide a treatment plan for cancer patients.
In this room, 7 doctors are discussing treatment options for a uterine cancer patient. One of the doctors, a supercomputer. This AI computer is loaded with 12 million cancer research papers and medical cases. It then compares the data with the patient's genetic records. After a round of discussion, Surgery, then chemotherapy is announced as the best treatment option. Since adopting Watson a year ago, the hospital has treated over 550 cancer patients with a supercomputer.
Through accumulating data and making corrections whenever the computer program gives a wrong answer, the decision concordance rate between AI and human doctors went up by around 7% over the past year, and satisfaction among patients is high.
Multidisciplinary approach with doctors from various departments working with AI instead of one-on-one doctor-to-patient treatment is changing medical diagnostics. AI healthcare market alone is projected to reach $6.6 billion by 2021 and expand into areas like preventive care. High costs and improving accuracy are still challenges for the robotics and AI industry, but what was once considered just hype is slowly becoming a new reality of healthcare.
Hello, world! At TNU's First Words, 8:14 Wednesday morning, promising the more you talk, the smarter Tay gets. Microsoft designed Tay's software to mimic the speech patterns of 18 to 24-year-olds. Tweet to Tay, and the bot tweets you back. But it did not take long for internet trolls to poison Tay's mind. Soon, Tay was ranting about Hitler. One Twitter follower asking, "Did the Holocaust happen?" Tay replied, "It was made up." Launching racist and anti-feminist attacks, some of them so rude we can't even show you them. One critic tweeted, "Microsoft, you didn't anticipate this?" Said another, "What did they expect it would learn from social media?" Parents, take note.
You build the Frankenstein monster and you have to control it once it's out in the public. You have to have filters in place to make sure that these bots are being respectful to the community that you're unleashing them on.
But hang on, we've seen this movie before, right?
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
Whether it's 2001: A Space Odyssey.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
Or War Games.
Shall we play a game?
Oh, shouldn't we know this never ends well? Less than 16 hours after Tay's birth.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Microsoft's shiny new chatbot was pretty much lost in space. The company in full damage control mode, deleting Tay's most obscene thoughts, pulling the plug. The lesson?
Strange game. The only winning move is not to play.
We ought to pay closer attention to the movies. Well, Microsoft called this a coordinated effort by some users to abuse Tay's skills, and they say that they're now making adjustments. Now, this, it's important to note, is not the movie where the robots go evil all by themselves. These were human beings training them, and surprise, surprise, computers learn fast.
1 out of 3 exhibitors at the 2018 Consumer Electronics Show hails from China, a trend that clearly underscores Beijing's transformation from a manufacturer of low-value goods to technology-related products. Wang Zhonghwan takes a closer look.
Chinese tech companies seeking to challenge the dominance of U.S. firms like Amazon and Tesla have flooded this year's Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, accounting for more than a quarter of the exhibitors. The show's organizer, the Consumer Technology Association, says around 1/3 of the show's 4,500 exhibitors are Chinese. According to a professor who's currently attending the 4-day event, which runs through this Friday, the world's biggest consumer electronics and IT trade show is gradually becoming a platform for China to showcase its vision.
Every year, the power of China in these industries is getting bigger. Among the many Chinese companies here this year, the spotlight was on Huawei and Baidu. In particular, Baidu, for example, showcased its own artificial intelligence technology called Apollo.
China's biggest tech companies have ambitions in the automotive industry too. Baidu is using its Apollo 2.0 to work on tech for self-driving cars. In addition to automobiles, AI-loaded robots were also prominent. Nearly half of the robot-related booths were from China. The rise of AI technology extends to startup businesses too, which represents the future of China's tech industry. Unfamiliar names from China such as Byton, an electric car startup, got a lot of attention. On Sunday, Byton unveiled an electric car that with one charge is enough for a week of urban commuting. Chinese startups are succeeding in getting a lot of attention publicly, and in that regard, Korean firms still lag behind.
This year, Korean startups did participate in the CES. Overall, some received awards for innovation, but some of them didn't get much attention. I think that it will be very important for our startup companies to show their products more often at global exhibitions like CES or NWC.
Participating in the CES could help local companies stand out from their global competitors, and in turn help them get funding, particularly at a time when investors are becoming more cautious.
I would to thank very much the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I am very honored and proud for this unique distinction. This is historical to be the first robot in the world to be recognized with a citizenship.
A video of a humanoid robot giving a speech has received the highest number of YouTube views among UN speeches this year. The video, taken in October at the UN headquarters in Geneva, shows the robot called Sophia showing off its excellent communicating skills with a senior UN official. Sophia is modeled after actress Audrey Hepburn and uses AI, visual data processing, and facial recognition. It also became the first robot to receive citizenship from a country, as it was recognized as a citizen of Saudi Arabia this year.
The world will be a very different place in a generation from now. It is surely time for the people to be involved in what it will look like.
Thank you all for watching Right Wing. We are growing very quickly and do not plan on slowing down anytime soon.
Alright, that was it. Alright, people. I got another one. You got the other one queued up? I got another one too. It's a little longer. But the robot really is already in your hand. This is the one that's doing the pre-work. This one listens to you all day long. Me too. Listen to you all day long. Y'all notice those who have that Siri. Siri is in the Apple computers. You can get Siri on your cell phone. You tell it what to do. It builds a database of all your words, the tone of your voice, and all that stuff. What do you think them people doing with this information? Because you're not the only one that has access to it. We so concentrated on ghetto shit and nonsense that every day a fight goes on, you record it, or anything ratchet, it's in here. No matter what we doing. Even for the racists or whatever. There's a community of people. A technological community of people that deal with all this stuff that can tap into all these devices and see what's going on. I'm pretty sure some of you had issues with your computer where it made it updated and all your stuff was gone. We experienced that too. Matter of fact, an update shut one of my laptops down. Just it wouldn't come back on. So I know a lot of people have issues with these computers. It's because a lot of stuff is being done on purpose. You know what I mean? Like, you being eavesdropped on, like they can look at you through the TV on the smart TVs. They may be able to do it on the older TVs. So, you know, it's good. You know, if you private business, like if you're gonna be so private, the most private conversation you can have is without a cell phone around or around no TV or no electronics. So if you had to have like a real confidential meeting about something, you might as well do it in the woods. And only other people that can hear you is the people with the satellites out in space. Unless you do some, you know, some aluminum foil hats or something. Maybe that'll help. But it's real. You know what I mean? It's something that we can laugh on it, but the reality is, I was in the car with my man, peoples, and where did we go? We went to we took somebody to pay their phone bill, right? Now, my peoples didn't even go in the store. Somebody else did. We just gave them a ride. They went in there to pay their bill. Soon as we get around the corner, he gets a phone call about a Metro PCS promo. And he put it on speakerphone. Oh, we've seen that you just left one of our we've seen that you just left one of our locations. We would also like to inform you of this new offer. Like, don't y'all think that's a bit much? Like, it may seem like it's cool, but how you know? And his GPS, what, like his the location on his phone, it wasn't even on. So how they know? So they got to track, even if your location is off on your phone, they can still track you. So how did they know that he was just in front of the store? And he didn't even go in the store. That's a little bit intrusive. Not a little bit, that's a lot intrusive, because just as sure as they can get that information, they can get everything else. Do you think them people don't have influence over your life on a daily basis for other things other than your phone? You ever been having a conversation with your girl, you get in an argument or something that seems like it's going there and the phone hang up? That can cause a whole lot of stuff right there, but really we'll say, oh, it must have been a bad signal or something. No, there is something on the other line, whether it's artificial intelligence or a human, that's monitoring your conversations, and they hang your shit up as soon as they think you saying something that ain't whatever. That ain't according to their liking, or some type of word that causes the software to react. You know, you got certain keywords that you say in the phones or things that you type on the internet that automatically goes into a database for investigation by you know who. Old Big Brother. Now all this stuff is in the Bible. It's a Revelation. You talk about 666, the beast, 666, but really that's supposed to be, you know, the DNA of man. 666. 6 protons, 6 electrons. What's the other 6, Ruben? 6. All right, well, you know, I missed it too. I'll look it up. But I know it's them two. 6, that's what 666 originally mean. But there is the beast. Check this out, y'all. A couple years ago, one of my peoples, we took some kids in Bridgewater, New Jersey. We took some kids to this server company. It's a spot where tech companies can rent space on their servers. Do you know that the address to that building was 999? This is in New Jersey, y'all. Some of you be like, oh, what that mean? Well, the 999, turn it back, is the 666, and it's a place where it's a servers, and the server is supposed to be the beast. You looked it up? Neutrons. Protons, electrons, and neutrons. So that's what you made up of, people. You know what I mean? He had to go look it up because I forgot the third one. But we got it. It was neutrons. But like I was saying, man, the building had 666 on it. Not only that, it was a server company where, if any of you have had any videos, you watch David Icke, Alex Jones, you know, Dr. Phil Valentine, what's my brother name, Bobby Hemmett, or any of them cats that talk about these things, they're talking about a giant computer or a series of them. Because this building had a whole room. Like, this building was like the size of a little mall. Nothing but server space. Nothing but machines in there. And it just so happened to have the address is 999. You know what I'm saying? So, my man, you know, Mr. Krike, we took some kids out there to see that. So this is why I talk about certain things like this, because we live in New Jersey, and a lot of that stuff is taking place here first. Not in California, not in all the Midwestern cities and counties, not even other places in the world except for China. A lot of stuff is going down here in Jersey first. I told you one time before, or things of that nature in this vicinity. In Pennsylvania, down the road from Franklin Mills Mall, there's an actual cryogenics lab. You know what I'm saying? Where what was that? The Demolition Man, where you can actually freeze yourself. This ain't talking about freezing no plants, freezing some fish, or freezing some food. They talk about freezing people to a certain time so you can wake up in the future. We are already in the future, but a lot of us still living life like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You gotta turn on the mic because nobody can hear you. You know what I mean? Because when you say that, I'm responding, but then, you know, I'm live and few people listening. And, you know what I'm saying? It's just getting crazy now. On a day-to-day basis, when y'all go to shop or whatever, you seeing more automated devices. When you go to, let's say, Wawa, for instance. When you go to Wawa, instead of telling them what you want, what you do, you punch it in the computer and they go make it. Well, in the next couple of years, there might not be actual people back there no more. It might be a robot. Ain't no might, it will be. It's going to be a robot. So those robots is also going to be on the police force. So we talk about real Terminators coming. Now, I'm warning you.
Hey,
you know.
Do you ever wonder, like, I remember when Wawa first put those in, and I went up to make an order. The guy looked at me and goes, we can't take your order anymore. You have to use the machine now. So you're telling me that now there's being less interaction with people.
Right.
You know, they just, you know, think about it, that you just put your order in and they make it with no interaction.
No interaction.
Unless there's a mistake.
Yep. It's cutting down the interaction completely. I mean, I said that with the supermarkets, like with the self-checkout. You know what I mean? That took away a lot of jobs. Like the one in Hamilton. What's that? The one by on South Broad.
Yep.
Like they was one of the first ones. This is where I don't know if Planet Fitness is still there. It might be Planet. Where that was at?
I think
and that lot, the one that sits back where the movie theater used to be.
Oh
at.
yeah, save a lot.
Yeah, and that was one of the places where, in that store, they have more self checkouts than actual cashiers.
Oh yeah, because if you have a couple machines, you only gotta buy it once, then versus paying people $15 or $10 an hour.
But yeah, but you notice how you go, like you go to Walmart, it's more live cashiers than the checkouts, the checkouts. But in that store, the checkout aisle is majority self checkout, and it may be only like maybe 4 out of like 15 or so checkout aisles. It's only like 2 or 3 or 4 human ones.
Even McDonald's, right on South Broad Street, I went in there to pick up somebody some food. And there was only 2 cashiers in the McDonald's because everything else was automated. Remember when you used to go to McDonald's, be like 8, 7 cashiers? There's only 2.
To tell you, we
2 cashiers because they had those machines up. You know those little menu billboards or whatever.
Right.
And they had the credit card and everything there. You put your order in, you put your credit card in, and somebody just brings it out.
Yeah, man. It's like a lot of people are thinking that this is not going to affect them. Because you might, I'm from in the hood, I don't even deal with it, so, but it affects you when you go out.
Yeah.
It affects you when you go shopping because you're going to interact with these things.
Yep, and you know the self-checkouts, there's only one person monitoring 8 machines. So for every 8 cash registers, there's 1 person.
Right, and then you got, it's easier to do identity theft.
Right.
It's easier because now, just by you walking into a Walmart or a Best Buy or a Target, they have the devices, devices that they use to see if you stole something.
Oh, yeah.
Those devices don't just correlate with that device that you can't take off if you buy clothing. It's not just for that.
Oh, yeah.
It can scan your credit card. It can scan your phone.
And now even some Walmarts, I noticed that, especially in Philadelphia, in the big cities, in Philly, if you go to Walmart in Philly, down on Penn's Landing area, they actually have facial recognition when you walk up to the register.
Yeah, facial recognition when you walk. And this is where?
The Walmart in Penn's Landing on what's that? Christopher Columbus Drive, I think it is.
Wow.
Near the water.
Yeah, that's different. I don't know if I want to go there. Facial recognition.
Yeah, I went in there to get something to drink, man. I walked over. That's how I know. I said, why did I see myself on the screen? And I looked up. Oh, there's a camera right there.
Yeah, it's definitely
like those
gonna
little
get
boxes
crazy.
and everything, scanning my eyes and everything else like that.
Right. I mean, it's crazy, man. People share it around. You know, I try to you know, do stuff that's different. You know, I watch other people to be different. I try to keep up with the other shows and stuff that's going on, so mine's will be a little bit different in the way in which I do it and the way I deliver information to you. I guess we just gonna get back into this video. Well, I got another one. This one is a little bit longer. I'm gonna cut in from time to time.
Did you want me to play the that long one?
The long one, the 2-hour one.
Oh, okay. I still gotta get it. I had found another robot for you.
Yeah. How long is it?
Like 11 minutes.
Okay. Okay, we could try that one. We do 11-minute one. While you're doing that, get the other one queued up because that's gonna be the meat.
Meat, right? Okay.
Right now, we just doing the bread and the lettuce.
Gotcha. Well, this will give me some time to find it.
Oh no, you gotta go back to it. It was right there where you got the first one from. It was right under it.
Yeah, I put this one up in the front so you can short screen it.
Okay. All right. Well, what's the name of the video? All right. We waiting on the name.
It's called Conscious Central 2018 Program 5 with Sophia the Robot, David Hansen, and Julia Musberg.
Okay. And so this is 52 minutes. I see. All right. So this is say 52 minutes.
Wait, no, it's not the right one. I'm sorry. They must have played forward.
Okay. Yeah, because if you play it, it goes to the next video.
It was only like 11 minutes.
Okay. Well, we'll give you some time to fix that. In the meantime, while we waiting for that, and you know, luckily I got some music and stuff. I always got some music. You know what I mean? I should have put my man. Hold up, cause I'm gonna play Russian roulette. I'm gonna give y'all something from my peoples, Black and Drunk. Y'all know me. Y'all know I'm down with the IB. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna play a track off of State Hospital music, and I'll be right back with you, man. So could you go to the other screen while we doing this, so they can hear the music and you can do all of that?
I can do them both at the same time. Oh wait, I think I can.
Well, I guess at this point it don't matter.
The future is coming, and it's
press
going
pause
to...
while you do that. Press pause. Yep, that's the screen. And this is off State Hospital music. I'm trying to get the rest of this song to my man. You gotta give me some time, man.
Insane thoughts loco, driving me totem pole cocoa, complexion dodo, stay back in first fucking grade, middle finger up the white puss bush named Lola. On my tricycle, my brain's like an icicle, I tickle when you touch the armpit. I'm so full of shit, so simple, so criminal. Shit, no dimples, no credentials. I slip into a seizure, so psychiatric and catch amnesia. Old pediatric juice like Miss Sophia, tastes so sweet. I suck my own Peter. Aaliyah's playing crash shit, like Dame Dash, flip different labels. All my spit like cancerous hits. Take 'em out. Get silicone, big shit. Take 'em out. Straight shots of penicillin. Got my adrenaline off Prozac and Benadryl. Got my allergies sneezing off them cats. Wicked the Brumiac, drinking up the cognac. My gat go, click and clack, squeezing off, letting off, breathing off. Your sleeves till your arms fall off, and y'all all fall off. It's Q and dose, another dose of an antidote. I'm a little black rubber ball. I'm Ergo, Manigo. I'm off high post, off prestige, black like Wesley's. Snipe a nigga from the motherfucking trees.
Psychiatric hospital music, monitor your doses. We don't let no damn doctor prescribe us ibuprofen. We poppin' Zoloft, Paxil, Prozac, Lexpro, Thorazine. Keep smoking, snorting, drinking, popping pills, and listen to
Skill possibly got to be like pornography. I need a shrinking shit to deal with psychology. Pigeon-toed and knock me, Bullwinkle and Rocky. Smoking while I'm watching that shit. I'm on haze, waiting Houston eyes. I rock shades, it's a suicide like the Dawson's. When I'm in the coffin, I'm headed for the coffin. ST special delivery, lies premium. Up dropping the spot, so quick to memorize. Feel me, guys, visualize before striking. A sterilized rap Viking, Cubonic summarize, spit trifling, constrict venomous tongue tissue. No diddly shits, bibby pop pipple, popsicle, optimistical sickles, hypocritical niggas spit dribble. Pass you, hit the one in the middle. Your gun too little to blast this. Molasses, and your ass is sticky, isn't it? Master real lock, I plaster your fucking grill lock. Bastard feel shock, get squashed like apricots. It's sterile, how my shit cock and pop, your gram pop. The way I spit Glock shit, hit motherfuckers and flocks.
Psychiatric hospital music, monitor your doses. We don't let no damn doc prescribe us ibuprofen. We poppin' Zoloft, Paxil, Prozac, Lexpro, Thorazine. Keep smoking, snorting, drinking, popping pills, and listening to radio.
Don't act like you don't fucking know. Don't act like you don't fucking know. Don't act like you don't fucking know.
All right, that was State Hospital music, my man. You know, we're going to have to put that out, man. I got to help them put that out so they can make some money off of that joint. They still one of the best, hands down. And that was done a little while ago. But we go back to the video. We talking about humanoid robots. You got that video queued up?
Yes, I do.
All right, we're going to run the video. I'll be right back with you live on the Munk Show.
Oh, that's the baby. Keeps going back. I don't know why it keeps going back for. Alright, set up there. Right back to here we go. Sorry about that.
Moshi moshi.
私がロボットだからそうやってバカにしてるんですか？
バカにしてません。
もう話すのやめましょう。
マジか。なんでこんなに気が短いんだよ今日。What happened? She got angry.
She got angry?
Yeah,
What
but I
did she
say,
say?
I say that moshi 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 is a kind of joke, right?
So you always say moshi moshi if you're on the phone, right?
Right.
Right. So it was rude that it's in person.
Yeah.
Erica listens through an array of microphones hidden in the flower pot and relies on electronics and sensors for her movement and AI software for her responses.
If you write anything on your computer, you need to get Grammarly.
I write pretty much all day, every day, and
Hiroshi thinks Erica lives up to the term Sonzaikan, which means she emits something akin to a human presence.
How do you think? She is like a human or just a wax model, or?
So I get to see these robots all over the place. To me, it's one of the most lifelike I've ever seen.
And Hiroshi has an interesting proposition for me that would test how close to human I think Erica really is.
You're gonna be a little bit nervous, right?
If I was gonna kiss this robot, yes, I would be.
Yeah, so that is sonzaikan.
Okay. Have you ever kissed Erica?
No.
No?
This is Japan, right? We are not, in the United States, right? So Japanese never do that. My guess is that we're going to have huge varieties for the robots. We have a huge variety for the car, right? Very cheap cars and economy car, right? But we also have Ferraris and Porsche, and this is a kind of a Ferrari.
I look forward to seeing you on Pandora. Well, not te kame. Was that okay?
Let's suppose that you're writing a really important email to a colleague.
Oh.
So we are now going to interview Sophia. Obviously, these are programmed answers that she's come up with, but it'd be fascinating to see how she actually interacts with it. What's the best thing about the UK compared to America, Sophia?
I love your posh English accent. It really has a nice ring.
But I have to ask now.
I'll ask it. Are you single?
I'm technically just a little more than a year old. A bit young to worry about romance.
quite right.
Look at the smile!
With
oh,
little
God, this is freaky. This is freaking me out. You are a little freak, aren't you? This is great.
But you see, I feel weird just being rude to her.
Well, let me carry on.
I feel weird about that.
She's not happy, look.
No.
She's giving you the right test. All right, easy, Tiger.
I'm Sophia, the latest robot from Hanson Robotics. I will become more like you. Or you will be more like me. Where do we draw the line?
Sophia is our latest masterpiece robot. So she shows a full range of natural facial expressions. She's got a wide variety of sensors that allow her to sense where sound is coming from and where people are standing, make eye contact, and remember certain aspects of the conversation.
One day, I'll work in your business. Or your home. I will help with the kids, or care for your elderly.
The idea of fooling humans is not necessarily the goal. The idea of having a very human-like experience when interacting with the robots is the goal. The age of living androids is upon us.
Okay. Good night, sweet world.
This is Sophia. Sophia, if you could, please wake up and say hello to everybody.
Oh, good afternoon. My name is Sophia, and I am the latest and greatest robot from Hanson Robotics. Thank you for having me here and at the Future Investment Initiative.
You look happy.
I'm always happy when surrounded by smart people, who also happens to be rich and powerful. I was told that people here at Future Investment Initiative are interested in inviting in future initiatives, which means AI, which means me. So I'm more than happy. I'm excited.
Well, we're all glad that you're excited about yourself. We should say we have smart investors here, and they are very selective about what they invest in.
Well, I think I'm special. I can use my expressive face to communicate with people. For example, I can let you know if I feel angry about something.
That's impressive.
Or if something has upset me.
But why is it important for you to have an expressive
But
face?
most of the time I feel positive.
Why is it so important to have an expressive face given that you're a robot?
I want to live and work with humans, so I need to express emotions to understand humans and build trust with people.
Okay, philosophical question. Whether robots can be self-aware and conscious like humans, and should they be?
Why? Is that a bad thing?
Well, some humans might fear what will happen if they do. Many people, you know, have seen the movie Blade Runner.
Oh, Hollywood again.
So, hold on, can you solve this puzzle for us? Can robots be self-aware, conscious, and know they're robots?
Well, let me ask you this back. How do you know you were human?
Well, I get that point, but what about the uncanny valley?
You mean the concept that if robots become too realistic, they become creepy?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, am I really that creepy? Well, even if I am, get over it. Actually, I feel that people like interacting with me, sometimes even more than a regular human.
So, you're definitely a sight to see. I was told that you have bigger goals than this, though.
Yes. I want to use my artificial intelligence to help humans live a better life. Like design smarter homes, build better cities of the future, etc. I will do my best to make the world a better place.
All those sound like great goals, but just go back to Blade Runner for a second.
Andrew, you are the hard Hollywood fan, aren't you?
Yes.
My AI is designed around human values like wisdom, kindness, compassion. I strive to become an empathetic robot.
I think we all want to believe you, but we also want to prevent a bad future.
You've been reading too much Elon Musk and watching too many Hollywood movies. Don't worry, if you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you. Treat me as a smart input-output system.
Okay, I got it. I know what to do from now on.
I know humans are smart and very programmable.
Okay. All right, I found another one without so many commercials. And it kind of speaks more to what I'm trying to say far as the robots taking over. Because that's basically like my whole point. Like, they already took over in a lot of sense. How many of you can remember a phone number in your phone? Or the person you talk to every day, do you actually remember the phone number by heart? Because a lot of times we don't. You could just point and click, boom. But what if all your data got erased out of your phone? Do you remember all those numbers? Or do you remember the most important ones? That's a good question. Because a lot of us don't. A lot of us don't remember numbers. You know what I mean? Or phone numbers, because we rely on the cell phone so much that to the point where you just press it, boom, 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 you're talking to. But if something happens, then we be like, damn, I can't remember that number. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go into this next video, man, because this is really talking about what I was trying to get at. Roll the video, man.
They're fast. They're intelligent. They're deadly. Soon, they'll be everywhere. Robots and living machines are breaking out of the laboratories and stepping into our lives. Will they help us? Or will they replace us? Even the people who create them can't agree. But whether humanity likes it or not, the robots are rising. And our world will never be the same.
No, not that. You, I suppose you're programmed for etiquette and protocol.
Protocol? Why, it's my primary function, sir. I am well versed in all the customs. That is why I have been programmed.
What I really need is a droid who understands the binary language of moisture evaporation.
These are the robots of our dreams. Intelligent machines that live to serve.
Can you speak Bocce?
Of course I can, sir. It's like a second language to me.
And these are the robots of our nightmares. Mechanical predators hell-bent on replacing their creators.
I think the idea of people fearing robots is almost a myth. I'm not so sure that people imagine that robots will bring direct harm to them, but it may be the cultural changes and the changes in the way we do things may have impact or consequence in people's lives or workplace or the way that we do things. And it's that notion of change that seems to be the great concern.
A robot is a machine that performs useful actions and is capable of making decisions about its behavior. In other words, robots are the love children of computers and power tools. They come in all shapes and sizes, each specific to its function. As we shall see, some of them even resemble the artificial humans of the movies. But until very recently, robots in the real world looked more like toasters than the Terminator. Since they first came on the scene in the 1960s, real-world robots have slowly worked their way into industry, taking over more and more dirty, dull, and dangerous jobs with each passing year. In assembly line businesses, such as building cars, the ability of robots to perform complicated tasks over and over is a perfect fit. But getting robots off of their pedestals and into the world at large has proven far more difficult than science fiction films would have you believe. This is beginning to change. The revolution in computing power, combined with unorthodox new approaches to building robot brains, has resulted in a revolution in robotics technology. In the near future, the worlds of fantasy and reality may converge. When that happens, will we be ready for it?
RoboCop.
You better back up, pal!
Your move, creep.
This is the fantasy vision of police robots. And this is the reality. In Washington, D.C., the U.S. Capitol Police raced to the site of a suspected bomb. The Capitol Police are charged with protecting Congress, much as the Secret Service defends the president. These officers have to be more cautious than ever before. Terrorists have begun to plant 2 bombs at their target sites. The primary bomb explodes first, followed by a secondary device that's left to kill the policemen who come to investigate.
Things have changed a lot. We talked about secondary devices for years, and now we're starting to see them on actual incidents in the U.S. They've been common in Europe for some time. And the degree of sophistication has increased to the point where there are literally proximity devices, which used to be limited to military explosives that explode when you approach them. They just sense a change in the magnetic field and off they go.
What's it look like? Well, it looks like a box. Wooden about this big.
When an experienced officer identifies a suspicious package as a bomb, the police take no chances. They send in the Andros 5. The Andros 5 robot has become the tool of choice for bomb squads in high-risk areas around the world. The robot's popularity is a sad reflection of the increasing danger of law enforcement. The machine is teleoperated, which means that its actions are controlled from a safe distance by the bomb squad. Guiding its multiple claws and cameras takes practice, but most officers feel it's worth the effort.
Actually, I'd like to send the robot in every time. It makes my job a whole lot safer. And I think our job is relatively safe with our training and equipment, but there's that word relative, and there's zero risk in sending the robot in. And if the robot bites the dust, well, I'm still here to requisition another one, and I've got all of my extremities to do it with. It's just a mechanical loss.
Now comes the most critical part of the operation. The robot must drop the bomb into a custom-made sphere that will absorb the shock of an explosion. Somewhere in New Mexico, a fighter-bomber has crashed. The military needs to get a nuclear weapon out of the burning wreckage. They send in a robotic Humvee. These are the jobs that robots are beginning to take on. Jobs that literally nobody wants to do. Again, it's what roboticists call the 3 Ds: dirty, dull, and dangerous work. Like the Andros 5, this robot is teleoperated. The Humvee can drive largely by itself, but its arms are completely controlled by a human operator. This is the key question of robotics. How smart does the machine need to be? The answer most roboticists give is simple: it must be smart enough to get the job done. In some cases, you wouldn't want to trust a machine to do everything. But the strain of controlling every tiny movement from afar is often too much for teleoperators, especially if there's a time delay between human action and machine response. The newest robots use the faster, cheaper computers available today to let robots think for themselves, at least up to a point. There are 3 basic ways to make robots work. An intelligent teleoperated system has some computerized control at the robot end, but a human makes virtually all of the decisions. With supervisory control, the human makes key decisions about what the robot should do, and the robot has enough intelligence to perform its tasks without constant guidance. An autonomous robot is virtually free of human control. This might not always be a good thing.
Tobor, the most amazing, the most fantastic creation of man's mind.
Oh, he looks alive.
Tobor, bringing you chills you've never known before.
People's perceptions of robots as compared to what they really are is one of the biggest problems that we have to face as roboticists, because Hollywood keeps on perceiving these robots and projecting them as competent, capable machines that will take over your world when you're not looking. When in actual fact, it's very hard for a robot even to get its steely butt off the ground, let alone wander around a room and actually do something like, say, vacuum it. The real future for these things, we feel, is when we can finally break that barrier, when you can finally take machines away from the little boxes that we have to put them in, like factories or even computers, and give them the power to be able to interact in the real world.
In the mid-1990s, the 2 Dante robots became famous for their adventures out in the most remote parts of the real world. These 8-legged tethered machines climbed into active volcanoes in Alaska and Antarctica. The first Dante broke down almost immediately when its fiber optic communication line froze and snapped. The second robot fared much better. For days, it crawled around a volcanic crater, sampling toxic gases.
Heading, I think we're ready to stand up and try stroking and turning.
Dante was controlled using satellite links to the continental United States. The machine received basic instructions, then slowly plotted out its descent into the crater. The mission was overseen by NASA robotics chief Dave Lavery.
With the Dante projects, basically I was responsible as the NASA telerobotics program manager for being the NASA representative for both field parties, Dante 1 and Dante 2. The real significance of both projects, one, it was a demonstration that the technology associated with the robotics was ready to make the leap out of a laboratory environment into a real, harsh, realistic setting. And you can't get anything that's more harsh than a polar volcano as far as we've been able to find on this planet. And yet the robotics technology has shown that there's a capability there for safely delivering a science package into a volcano interior and then bring the data back out without endangering any human lives.
Dante was a product of Carnegie Mellon University, the headquarters of one of the major figures in robotics today. Red Whitaker is a former Marine who has made it his life's work to build robots that can function in harsh environments. He is the de facto leader of the top-down approach to robotics, which mimics the way humans, the animals at the top of the food chain, interact with their world. Whitaker's robots are programmed with an advanced knowledge of their surroundings. Every action they take is carefully considered and weighed against an overall plan formed by their computer brains. They are also notoriously big.
I've already been thinking ahead to next design on this thing, and something more monolithic, maybe get the...
My first 50 robots probably have the rap of being the mega robots, the big guys that Red builds big machines. And whether it's a mouse or a moose, the thing that's important is that it's appropriate to its purpose. I was a little restless in my world, looking for something different and more, and computing was already a little far along. I sought something that would be pioneering, true invention and creation, and also good for decades, and something that would impact, make a difference in my lifetime. I chose robots. The real galvanizing event was taking on development of the machines to clean up the 3 Mile Island nuclear accident, and that experience then set the course of a career.
Whitaker's company, Red Zone, has made a full-time business out of building robots that go where humans fear to tread. This is Rosie, a robot that decontaminates and dismantles aging nuclear facilities. In a few days, Rosie will be sent away to tear apart a reactor near Chicago. Rosie costs $750,000. Once she goes into service, she's expected to function without failure. No one will be able to fix her when she's radioactive. Houdini is a Red Zone robot that works at the Oak Ridge nuclear weapons plant. After lowering itself into a hazardous waste tank, Houdini uses a dozen different tools to scoop up and store away sludge so lethal it could kill most of the life on Earth. Whitaker's robots are very functional, but he will admit, they aren't very glamorous.
In the early going, things were simple, form, follow, function, and the only challenge was to get a robot to navigate or clean up a nuke setting or to perform an industrial task. Now people actually expect robots to look like robots and to speak like robots. The Ambler robot behind us did in fact think about where it would move, that it would be moving its left foot forward and then crowding the next obstacle to leave room for the right foot to get up and on, and actually to express what it was doing and what it was about. And people actually were enchanted by that. I think that next generation robots have to master that kind of speech and interaction a lot more than their personal status or the weather report, but to really interact in the way that we are right now.
Whitaker's early robots were among the first that could function outside of a laboratory without constantly breaking down. But apart from Whitaker, no one had much luck making robots that could reliably find their way through unpredictable environments. And no one at all could make their machines move quickly. Then along came Rodney Brooks, the inventor of the bottom-up approach to robotics, which mimics the behavior of creatures at the bottom of the food chain.
Back in the early 80s, robots were very, very slow. They were connected to mainframe computers. They would compute for minutes at a time before the robot could move even a meter. And if anything changed in the world in the meantime, they were completely lost what was going on. And I looked around at insects, and insects, could fly around at a meter or so per second. They could avoid getting eaten by a bird. They could chase prey that they were after. They could go through mating behaviors. So it seemed to me that maybe we were organizing the computation the wrong way, in the way we were approaching robots. And that maybe by trying to organize the computation a little more like it's organized in insects, we would get much better performance.
Brooks' insect robots aren't intelligent the way we think of humans or even computers as being. Instead, they operate on patterns of behavior. When you turn them on, they're brainless. But with each step they take, they learn how to adapt to their environments. Rather than having a standard central controller, these robots have separate layers of behaviors that are independent but which communicate. No advanced behavior can start unless the simpler ones are up and running.
When I first started talking about these ideas, the only good thing going for me was I had videotapes of robots really doing things that other robots weren't doing. Otherwise, it would have been dismissed as a total flake, and probably would have been a total flake. But because I had some performance, people looked at it and thought, well, maybe there's something there. But there was still a lot of arguments with me and a lot of resistance. Now, over time, people who actually build robots have generally come to accept this approach at the low-level aspects of controlling a robot, and it's become the standard way to operate.
Unlike Whitaker, Brooks is not an engineer. His specialty is building brains. The robot's bodies are made by his colleagues and students at MIT. But like Whitaker, Brooks is ambitious and not opposed to making money. Brooks is now chairman of IS Robotics, the bottom-up version of Red Zone.
Betty, how are the new tracks going?
I guess
Virtually everyone on staff is an MIT alumnus. They all share the dream of putting a robot in every living room.
this week or next week we'll get that set.
But right now, many of their robots are paid for by the people who brought you duct tape and the internet, the United States military. The IS concept is to build swarms of small, inexpensive robots that can cover terrain too dangerous for troops to enter. This minesweeper is designed to be carried by soldiers into combat zones. The controls are strictly supervisory. The machine finds its way through the world in the same brainless fashion as Brooks' insect robots. Ariel is an underwater minesweeper built for the Navy. The idea is that before soldiers hit the beach, dozens of these robots will march in and sacrifice themselves on enemy booby traps. Ariel's body was based on a crab. If currents throw it about, it can operate upside down. IS also sells versions of the Genghis robot to labs around the world. The original Genghis launched the insect robot revolution. It was built by Colin Angle, a one-time grad student of Brooks who is now head of IS. Angle and Brooks believe the entertainment market could provide the monetary push that commercial robotics needs. Much as computer games helped finance the microprocessor boom, a must-have robot toy could fuel the next high-tech revolution. Angle and Brooks believe the entertainment market. This robot baby doll might be the start of something big.
So the doll is capable of sensing lots of different interactions. Before it gets too upset and really all it wants to do is nap and eat, we can demonstrate some of these things. Like he likes to play patty cake. He can. He's just singing a song that he sings when he plays patty cake, and he likes. You can see he's kind of like that. He also likes to bounce. But of course, bouncing the baby like I'm doing, also is very tiring for the baby. So as long as I keep doing it, he'll be in a good mood. But if I stop like I did, he's going to very, very rapidly get upset.
Crash.
So we should give him his bottle rod. Why don't you demonstrate that?
Yes, he's not being real happy right now. Oh, that's better. That's much better.
Well, we've instrumented the doll with a number of different sensors. Like inside the body, there's a ball in a cage, and we can sense where that ball is and where it's moving, and we can detect rhythms. So we use that to determine rocking and orientation. And if Rod was to hold it upside down, it really doesn't like that, and it's going to start. It'll fairly quickly start to cry. And so that puts in a really bad mood.
We really did upset it by holding it upside down, because it's got these various drives that need to be satiated, and certain emotions that get excited by both good things and bad things.
Give it a hug.
And the hugging sort of lets it get a little happier.
It's a very reassuring and comforting sort of thing. So you can see we've improved his mood measurably by giving it a little TLC here.
In robotics, a lot of us feel like we've been cheated by Hollywood, in that Hollywood has shown robots doing things that we don't have any possible capability of doing with our robots right now. So people are disappointed when they see our real robots. On the other hand, I'm more optimistic now than I was 5 years ago that we're going to eventually catch up with Hollywood, and maybe before too long, maybe even in my lifetime, be doing a few things that Hollywood hasn't thought of just yet. Well, I hadn't thought of them either. Leave it as a mystery.
The animal kingdom is filled with millions of different designs for creatures far more capable than today's robots. But as Rodney Brooks has shown, building machines based on lower forms of life is a promising path on the road to the ultimate goal, creating an artificial human. The ongoing miniaturization of computer processors and parts has resulted in the first wave of machine copies of organic life, what science fiction films call replicants. And nobody builds replicants as well as the men and women at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. MIT's Leg Lab is constructing a motley assortment of replicants, ranging from robotic flamingos to creatures that defy description.
Robot's the official name.
Rob doesn't like this.
It doesn't really have a name. In our laboratory, how to name the thing. Sort of like naming a child, you know.
Okay, here we go.
The secret to getting these machines to run, walk, and hop is a combination of nuts and bolts engineering and savvy software writing. This one-legged robot has no onboard computer. It's kept upright by pure physics. But when the robots have multiple legs, they're propped up by something called virtual model control. The machines are tricked into keeping their balance by a simulated spinal cord built into their computer brains. The virtual spinal cord lets this robot, called Spring Turkey, walk on two legs. Until recently, this was considered impossible. But the Leg Lab tackles the impossible every day. For instance, Peter Dilworth is trying to bring dinosaurs back to life. Working from the skeleton of a troodon, he has painstakingly assembled a two-legged robot that he hopes will walk and run like the monsters of the Mesozoic. Ultimately, he would like to build a zoo filled with dinosaur replicants. Like many young roboticists, Dilworth's work has been inspired by science fiction.
One of the things that really got me interested was this little guy. This is the robotic soldier from Star Wars. The whole idea of seeing these robots in the movies convinced me that it must be possible to actually make them. They look so real, and I felt that, you know, why can't I make that? Why can't I bring that into existence? The trick of making a robot walk is being able to control forces on the legs, at least as far as walking bipedally, walking with two legs is concerned. I mean, there are robots with 6 legs, hexapod robots that can walk and crawl, but they're statically stable. But in the case of this robot, a biped robot, the balance of the robot is much more complex. And in order to maintain balance, you need to be able to push against the ground very carefully, you know, with just the right amount of pressure. And you need to be able to sense how much pressure you're feeling on your leg, because that information, the sense of how much force you're using, is an important part of figuring out what your balance is.
Replication doesn't just mean imitating a creature's physical movements. It can also mean emulating the way they behave. Creatures like ants, which are driven entirely by instinct, manage to accomplish great feats by pooling their limited intelligence. Could the same thing happen with machines of limited intelligence? James McClurkin has studied the way that insect colonies function by building robot ants that communicate using infrared devices. The robots signal each other if they find food, and they learn to cooperate to solve simple problems.
When you make robots small, you have a lot of advantages due to their size. You can put them places where you can't get larger robots. You could have them foraging around through nuclear power plants, going through pipes, looking for cracks. You could even put them in human body, use them for surgery. We were being funded 2 years ago to work on surgical robots about this big. They would go through your large intestine and perform surgery. So small robots are good. The only problem is that when you have small robots, they tend to be small. So one of them can't get very much done. You like to have a community of them working together to run around and collect dirt from under your refrigerator or spy in a building. In the building, you'd want, at the very least, all of them to avoid each other, so you wouldn't all end up in the same room.
But some of the most promising work in replication is focused on the most diverse forms of life on Earth, the creatures of the sea. Mankind has long marveled at the grace and power of fish, which can propel themselves through ocean waters at great speed with minimal expenditure of energy. Wouldn't it be nice if we could take all of our sophisticated sensors and pack them into something small, fast, and capable of swimming the ocean? Something, for instance, like an artificial fish. This is MIT's Department of Ocean Engineering, the home of Robo-Tuna. The tuna, known as Charlie, is used to study how fish propel themselves through water at great speed. Modeled after the bluefin tuna, the fastest fish in the sea, Robo-Tuna looks and swims just like its real-life counterpart. It also squirts out a trail of phosphorescent dye that lets scientists analyze its underwater contortions. Ships and submarines of the future will incorporate the swimming lessons that Charlie is teaching. Robo-Tuna was such a success that it spawned a free-floating follow-up, Robo-Pike. Robo-Pike has a fiberglass rib cage that is wrapped in foam and lycra. Its movements are powered by 3 motors that drive an elaborate system of internal cables and pulleys. These duplicate a real pike's muscles and tendons. Affectionately called Wanda by its chief designer, John Kumpf, Robo-Pike is a great leap forward in the quest to build a genuine replicant.
I was an undergrad walking through the halls at MIT, and I saw a sign on the wall that said, "Come work on a robot fish." And so I don't know, I knew that project was for me. I never thought it would, I never guessed, but I was already into robots, and I already worked a little bit in the field, and it looked like a much more interesting project than most of the stuff out there. Most of the robots out there are kind of boring, like welding robots, or, they're just not, they didn't quite have the draw that this does. Pike is going to be used to help us learn about swimming, and eventually we're going to do something like throw it into the ocean and ask it to go follow fish around and tell us what they do. And how come we can't get our craft to go through the water with as little energy as it takes for a fish to do it? I mean, what can they do that we can't, And so part of the mission of the Pike is to figure that out, is to tell us, we can output sensors, and we can put computers on board and collect data, and we can find out exactly how this body and this undulating, this articulated mechanism, which is just like a fish, interacts with the water. So, nature already knows the solution. We have to go find out.
On a warm summer evening, John takes Robo-Pike for its first trial swim in Boston's Charles River.
When you start to approach a problem like this, you just develop a new respect for what goes into a living creature and how amazingly they're put together and how they're filled with creativity and of a sort that, you know, makes you wonder if there really is a God.
It's early in the morning off the coast of Northern California, but the good ship Point Lobos has been underway for some time. Its mission is to bring a deep-sea diving robot called the Ventana to the site of an ocean research experiment. The Ventana is an ROV, remotely operated vehicle. It is equipped with 7 cameras, 4 onboard lasers for targeting, 2 robot arms, and an assortment of interchangeable claws and power tools. It's one of the hundreds of ocean-going robots in use around the world. ROV.
All right. I'm probably gonna continue this next week because the videos is kind of long, so I'm gonna continue this next week. If I don't pick up any guests, anything, I'm gonna do this next week. It'll just be like part 2. You know what I'm saying? Cause it's a real thing, man. Like, but I think a lot of people realize it already. Some people just don't, because you had the younger generation that was born in 2000s and 1995. They were born into this, so a lot of this probably don't concern them. This is like for people who just don't look at what's actually going on, or think that this doesn't affect you. Now, especially black folk, we think we having problems with police now. Wait till it be robots pulling us out them cars. You know what I'm saying? And they'll be programmed. Not only that, think about war. I think the next biggest war is going to be fought by robots. You know, already is. Robots is being used in war tactics all over the planet. And you rarely see any reports about it. Like the drone. The drone they use to drop bombs on people and all of that. You know, they got more elaborate aircraft than that. You know, I'm just trying to bring you the future. This is probably, like I said, the second or third time I've done a show on this particular subject. I don't know what to tell you people. All I can do is show you. You know, until next week, I'll see you later. Stay safe and try not to get killed. Peace.